The Jaguars are back in Pittsburgh for the first time since 2017. Let's get it. Before we get into this video, quick word from our video sponsor, BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything, anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
So the Jaguars are 2.5-point favorites going into this game. I'll give you guys my prediction at the end of the video. So you guys can make that wager or all different other kinds of wagers over at BetUS. I have a link down below. It's going to 125% bonus your deposit. So thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on to this preview. So there's a lot going into this game. The obvious is that, look, the Jaguars-Steelers is an old school rivalry going back to, the 90s and the AFC Central days. The Jaguars actually currently lead the series 14-3. There's been a lot of tough battles between the two, and they actually haven't played in Pittsburgh since 2017. And I think we all remember the game in 2017 where the Jaguars swept the Steelers in Pittsburgh once they blew them out in the regular season, and then they actually went in there and upset them after a lackluster game against the Buffalo Bills. Everyone was kind of already previewing the AFC Championship game between the Patriots and Steelers, but the Jaguars went in there and put up some points on offense and actually edged out the Steelers in a really, really fun game. So the Jaguars now go back there for the first time in 6 years, and the Jaguars are actually very good in Pittsburgh, man. The Jaguars are 7-2 in Pittsburgh in the last 9 games. So, there's been quite a bit of good games in there, including 2 different sweeps. I think the other one, it was in 2007, I think the year was, when Rasheed Mathis was doing his thing and David Garrard made his crazy run. So it's been some good times in Pittsburgh, and I'm looking forward to going back there and, watching the Jaguars play there again. And hopefully Blake Bortles hands the baton off to Trevor Lawrence, as you had David Garrard sweep him, then Blake Bortles sweep him. Now hopefully Trevor Lawrence can go in there and do his thing, although I don't think a sweep is coming, as I don't see the Steelers winning the AFC North, and I don't see the Jaguars getting in a situation where their seeding is bad enough where they would have to, where the Steelers all of a sudden jump them. But, that's for another conversation. Now, the Steelers are 4-2 going into this game, and the Jaguars are 5-2. Now, this is a big one because, look, if the season ended today, the Jaguars would be that number 4 seed, and the Steelers would be the number 5 seed. So, essentially, this game would be a playoff game today in Jacksonville. So, that's kind of Steelers have the highest wild card spot right now. And this right now is a matchup of 2 playoff teams, and a bunch of people are kind of calling this one of the better games of this weekend. Now, when we go and look at different injuries, Tyson Campbell, Andre Sisco, Trevor Lawrence, Walker Little, Brandon Sheriff are all questionable going into this game. Zay Jones and Gregory Jr. have already been declared out. And Devon Hamilton is going to look to make his season debut this Sunday. So the Jaguars get a couple reinforcements with DeJuan Smoot a couple weeks ago, and now we get Devon Hamilton back. And maybe next week, Danielle Hunter. We'll see. We'll see about that one. The Steelers, on the other hand, Joey Porter, Levi Wallace, and James Pierre, all cornerbacks are all questionable this game. And yeah, there's a bunch of different things going into this game. Really, this week there's been a lot of chatter, and a bunch of people from the Steelers sides are talking crazy. You have Steelers coaches, players, and fans talking reckless. Right now, Mike Tomlin has really high praise of Walker and basically saying that he wreaks havoc all over the field. I would tend to disagree. I think a lot of it is coach talk. I know a lot of people that really do watch every Jaguar game in and out kind of understand that Walker is a little bit of disappointment in the pass rush category. Sometimes you see some advanced analytic get pulled up on Twitter that says, oh, Trayvon Walker is actually a top 5 pass rusher. But, I think we all know he's a little bit underwhelming at the moment. But, hey, you're going to praise our player. That's one thing. And then we move on to George Pickens, basically disrespecting our defense. Go ahead and give a listen to what he said.
George, why has Jacksonville been susceptible for the pass? I mean, I think they have one of the worst pass defense, especially the last 3 games. I think they're last.
Yeah, I think their D-line, they depend on their D-line a lot. with their team, you know, having a lot of first-round guys on that D-line, that's what they depend on a lot. And they kind of, you know, hope, you know what I mean, hope the guys hold up long enough, hope. So it's kind of a hope defense for sure.
He called the Jaguars defense a hope defense and basically said that the Jaguars' entire secondary relies on their defensive line, which is concerning if you're a Steelers fan because this guy clearly is not watching tape because the Jaguars secondary is playing really, really good. And also the best cornerback on the Jaguars is Tyson Campbell, a former teammate of George Pickens. So it's a little bit weird conversation here. And I don't think he's watching film because the Jaguars secondary has been playing really good. Darius Williams has been playing like one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. You know, we'll see if Monteric Brown gets to play, but it's just a little bit weird coming out of him. And then the Steelers fans are a bunch of soft crybabies, man. Look, Trevor Lawrence went ahead and said this week.
No, I know what they are. The little yellow towels they sling around.
It's a hostile environment.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, it's definitely one to check off the list, like playing in cool stadiums, historic places, and obviously Pittsburgh is just, they got a great, just their whole organization has like an aura around it that's really cool, and they're, you know, they had some obviously great players, some great teams. You always know kind of what kind of team Pittsburgh's going to have every year. I mean, super physical, great defense. Their offense is playing really well. I mean, that's just, you know what you're going to get. So they're really consistent. Coach Tomlin's obviously done a great job there.
So Steelers fans took that disrespectfully because he said little yellow towels, which first of all, isn't that what they are? Or are they waving around beach towels or are they waving around towels the size of hand cloths? Like, I don't really understand, you know, what's to be offended by that. You know, so whatever. All I know is that, look, Steelers fans, I thought Bills fans were soft a couple weeks ago. Steelers fans are clearly extremely soft. And, you know, maybe it's just a few of them who, you know, are loudest people on Twitter. But all I know is that if you're going to the Steelers game this Sunday and you're looking for the best spot to get some avocado toast and pumpkin spice lattes, ask any Steelers fan. They're probably going to know. Okay. So when we look into this game, man, the Steelers offense is not really great. Pickett is a guy that they really believe in, a second-year player out of Pittsburgh, actually, in the college. He's throwing for 61% completion percentage, 210 yards per game from him, 5 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. And, you know, a lot of Steelers fans have high hope for him because he's playing his best ball in the fourth quarter. He's able to edge out victories, which is a big reason why, obviously, they're 4-2. Now, in the run game, Najee Harris, who actually the Steelers took Najee Harris over Travis Etienne, which, you know, looking back on it, it probably doesn't get talked enough about how probably bad of a decision that was. But, yeah, he only has 300 yards on the season. That's 3.9 yards per carry, 1 touchdown and 1 fumble. Kind of reminds me of, you know, maybe this is a hot take or whatever, but kind of reminds me of Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette he pounded the ball like crazy with him, and he just wasn't all that good. Didn't have a lot of like yards per carry. Just got ankle tackled a lot. Just wasn't very impressive in my opinion as a Jaguars running back. Kind of reminds me of that with Najee Harris. And then George Pickens is by far the leading receiver. He's actually probably their best offensive player. 500 yards on the season, 2 touchdowns. And the second receiver has leading receivers or running back Jalen Warren with 165 yards receiving. So you can kind of see the big delta between 1 and 2 there. You got to give it a shout out to their third leading receiver. Allen Robinson is out there, 144 yards receiving on the year. So, yeah, the Steelers offense, I mean, they're doing enough, but every single game, Steelers fans are chanting Fire Canada, their offensive coordinator. So I haven't had too much of a chance to watch them this year, but I know all that's going on. So their identity is Mike Tomlin and the defense. Mike Tomlin and the defense seems to generally always be the identity unless they have like Le'Veon Bell, Ben Roethlisberger, and Antonio Brown out there. But they don't anymore. New era. They have TJ Watt, who is leading the team in sacks with 8 sacks, and it's actually second in the NFL behind future Jaguar Danielle Hunter next week. And some other players they have is Minka Fitzpatrick, Quan Alexander, Patrick Peterson. Cameron Hayward's going to be out this game. So, yeah, they got some ballers on the defense that can definitely do some tough stuff and, you know, make these games challenging. But my outlook on this game, Honestly, I think the Jaguars are going to whoop their ass, if I'm being honest. Like, I think the Steelers are a little bit fraudulent, and I don't think there's any way they make it to 5-2. I think the Jaguars need to develop a big lead. I think that just force Pickett to try to need to throw the ball a bunch around the field, later in the third and fourth quarter, play a bunch of catch-up ball, and just get them out of their game plan. Because right now Tomlin is going to emphasize, okay, keep long sustained drives, keep the ball out of the Jaguars offense's hands, make the Jaguars offense out of rhythm, control the time of possession, and, edge them out at the end. I imagine that's probably what he wants to do, but, we got to hope that the Jaguars get a lead early and get Steelers out of what they want to do. And then all of a sudden, maybe they'll get uncomfortable because in the losses that the Steelers have, they're pretty significant losses. If you look at it, their 2 losses came to San Francisco, where they lost 30-7, and Houston, where they lost 30-6. So it seems like a team where if you get up on them, you can kind of stick your foot on their throats. Now, this is going to be a rain game, it looks like. There's a high percentage of rain, which I actually think favors the Jaguars, as long as Trevor Lawrence understands how to take care of the ball in the huddle or in the pocket, because he does tend to fumble the ball, whether it's in the pocket or even sometimes on scrambles, he's fumbled the ball. So he's got to find a way to protect the ball and not have a Philadelphia Eagles game from last year. But with this one, man, and with this one, I think the Jaguars win this one 27-13. I think the Jaguars move on to 6-2, and we're gonna be partying during a bye week as we check out power rankings and see what teams around the NFL are doing while we're chilling watching Red Zone next week. That's what I want to do before we prepare for a tough NFC matchup at home against the San Francisco 49ers. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will be live streaming this game on Sunday, so going to be excited for that one. And I'm sorry for my absence of videos this past week. I just took a CPA exam this morning, so was taking some personal time to be able to get my priorities in life straight. And sometimes videos don't come first in my life, but we're back on a video grind. We're going to keep pumping out videos for you guys, and hopefully all you guys keep watching as the Jaguars have an exciting year this year. Thanks guys for watching. Go Jags.